Here is something that I want you to try in your sparring sessions. Those days when you're in the gym, you're all geared up, you got everybody across from you to spar. It's going to diminish your ability to win rounds, but overall it's going to help your skill level massively explode. We have only a matter of days left until the early bird pricing on my upcoming course, Takedown, which involves sweeps and throws, expires. Make sure you guys get registered. We're gonna have 25 videos, 3 live calls, and this is gonna be a spectacular course to help your skill level just explode when you get into those sparring rounds and you want to dominate your sparring partners. Now, let's talk about this way to build your skill level. And by the way, this is obviously something that I used to do all the time. When you're sparring somebody, sometimes pick 1 or 2 techniques and make this the entire emphasis of your offense for the sparring round. So for instance, if I went, okay, I want to work my left round kick. I'm not just going to use that left round kick once and then go back to some other stuff, mix it up, and then come back to this 10, 15 seconds later. I'm going to make this pretty much my offense for 80% of the entire round. Now, what will happen and what you're probably thinking is, oh, but that is going to be so predictable. And because it's predictable, this guy is going to pick up on it very fast and he's just going to end up annihilating you. But what we need to do, and this is the silver lining to putting yourself through this, what we need to do is we need to figure out how to use one technique in a variety of ways to really diversify it. So how would I go about doing that for, let's say, left round kick? Well, if I'm at this long range, number 1, I can kick offensively very hard from a very long distance. And I can wrap the kick around to the side of the body to sort of knock them over. But then I could go, okay, alternatively, I'm going to let my shin slam into their chest and bend my knee a little bit. Boom. So now when I'm landing, it's not that traditional long round kick which knocks them sideways, it's kind of thrusting up into their chest, which makes it much more difficult to catch or block in the traditional sense. So already this guy now, oh, he has a bit more of a struggle. Now, additionally, I can, instead of going offensive, I can be defensive. So if he rushes in towards me, no skip, boom, and I can just jam him. Or if we're tighter, boom, just jamming them up. Now in addition, this starts to allow me to play around with different ways to throw. Again, I can come right from here, I can skip, maybe I start working setups to get to it. Maybe I start doing stuff like shuffles, which I don't normally do or like, but because I'm limited to one technique really, I start to play around with different things. And what we can end up doing is really trying to dominate off one leg by doing something that looks like this, right? I'm in this position, I'm sparring, normally I could get away with that. But now I'm gonna have to start being clever. As soon as I come down, I'm in my long guard, and then I'm switching levels and doubling up sometimes, and then jamming my shin in, but coming down with another round kick. Sometimes switching stances, give them that little fake, and seeing with this one leg, how much damage, how difficult I can make this guy's life, but more important, how I can deal with the limitations that I have and make this technique much more diverse than I normally would. Because you might throw this one, let's say in a normal sparring round 5 times. So you throw it the same way every time. You don't really expand your repertoire on that technique. I feel like when you can do this off one limb, all of a sudden when you start sparring and you go, okay, I have this limb, this limb, this limb, this limb. On each one I have so many different ways to attack, but now out of those set attacks, something like an uppercut, you know, okay, it's not just an uppercut, I can do it from in tight, push like that. I can do it where my thumb faces upwards instead of outwards, which changes things. I can go tight range, long range. All of a sudden you start having so many techniques. Not just your traditional, okay, I have a kick and a kick and a punch and now let's just go spar. So this will challenge you in a way that you've never probably been challenged before in sparring. It'll make things difficult at first, but it will explode your skill level. Difficult to do, yes, pays off in the long run. But you will get tagged or lose some rounds in the process. But who cares? Because sparring at the gym is about improving your overall skill level. That's what we're there for. We're not there to be the best in the gym every time. It's not like you're clocking rounds and be like, okay, today on my little notepad, I won 13 of 14 rounds. We're not doing that. So go in and challenge yourself. And the left round kick is a great way to work it. The low kick is a great way to work it. Teeps are a great way to work it. Jabs. It's a little harder to do stuff like an uppercut. An uppercut the whole round is a little harder to do, but those other 4 that I mentioned, great ones to try. So experiment, challenge yourself. See if you can come up with these domination rounds where you're limited to just a technique or 2, and you have to evolve that technique to something that you didn't know you were capable of. That's my advice. That's what I'm hoping you guys will try and do over the next couple months. Not in every sparring session, but in some of them. And again, it doesn't have to be the whole night. It's not like I have to go and be like, oh, the whole night I'm only gonna do this. It could just be for 1 round out of 10 rounds. So play with it. Hopefully it helps you. Thanks for joining, guys, and we'll see you back here very soon.